Hi everyone out there, I've just been working on a brand new song inspired by a friend of mine who saw me busking and really liked this semitonal Middle Eastern riff that I was jamming out. And my friend Atlanta, female vocalist, suggested that we do a collab, and she inspired me to lay this epic down. And I'm just going to go through my process of writing, arranging, producing a song in Pro Tools, how I go about it. The first thing I do is, I know it's going to be a bit of a Middle Eastern, Zaluian, groove rock vibe. I wanted more of a slower tempo, so I started with 93 BPM. And then I went through certain, again, I have a vision of what kind of drums I would like. A tribal drum sound, a percussive groove drum sound, a rock sound for the chorus. And I went into Addictive Drums, which is a great drum program. And it's just, it's here, deactivated at the moment. But anyway, I went through and had a listen and picked out certain drum loops that I really liked, and I started coming up with, I had the Middle Eastern hook, then I also worked out what key it was going to be in, like D minor, F, and then so I had the Middle Eastern riff. I sorted the tempo. I wrote some chords in the verse, and then I did a altercation or a different progression, which you're going to hear with the same chords in the part 2 of the verse, and then we've got like a rocky chorus here, and a drop down. So I've been doing this a while, so I've kind of got a bit of an idea on how I'm going to arrange it to start out. But sometimes in Pro Tools, certain things happen, and you can jam certain sections out, and certain things will come out that you wouldn't normally come out if you were just sitting down trying to work it out, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, so I tracked, the first thing I did is I tracked the parts just with this progressive, it's like a click track really. So it's like a groove with, so I did that. As you can see, I tracked the whole song with that groove all the way through. I've got the bass here in orange, rhythm guitars in blue, and heavy guitars in the chorus. And then what I did, it takes a little bit of time, but I went through all these other up the top here, and what I do, I basically print the loops from Addictive Drums, so it doesn't take up so much CPU. So there are all the stereo grooves, and I just went through and spent hours just laying down, different grooves, and then I picked out the best ones I liked, and it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, and I put them through the song. And then the last thing I did is I put down some drum fills. So, and then I started arranging it after laying down, the guitars first, rhythm guitar first, then I doubled it. So the first thing I did was lay down the groove, percussive drum pattern, then I laid down rhythm guitar 1, which I like to do. I like to use my Telecaster on one track and Ibanez on the other, which gives a little bit of difference. So I went through this preamp into Pro Tools, but first I used a clean guitar amp sim, which is in this Zoom unit. Clean guitar. And then the dirt guitar, same thing with the Zoom. Then after arranging it, I'll show you the plugins in a sec. And then I really like this intro, so I started the song with the bass, so with the tribal drums. This is in here. Guitar comes in. Then we're going to go to the verse next. G minor, D minor, G minor, then we go up to A minor. That's G minor, D minor, G minor, then we go up to A minor, B minor. 2 measures, then back to D minor, G minor. Then we're coming with a different drum patch here, Rocky. Same chords, but just playing them out a bit longer in the meter. More of a rocky drum sound here with the drums. Also a bit of space to sing over as well. Now we're going to get back to the Middle Eastern section again. I'll bring the groove percussive section back in here with the drums. Right, which is underneath the main groove. Now we're going to go to the chorus, which is more power chords, pretty simple. There are the chords in the chorus. More of a straighter drum patch for the chorus. And then we go to a breakdown with just the bass, which sounds again it's like the intro. We're starting again. Again, these are nice guitars. Bass. Then we got like a tabla, electro tabla drop down section. Then it goes into the groove, back to the different, it's like a 2-section middle 8. Now I printed that groove without the snare on purpose, so it could be a drop down, so there you go. Then back to the groove in the verse. Now, I'll just go through some plugins. So we've got the CLA on the cleans. I really like this clear tone. It's got some nice delay and also going through an API and some compression at the end. So with the bass, I just sort of run through some of the plugins I use, my go-to plugins. You know, I've got So that's like an amp sim, Waves amp sim, super tube, rock bass preset, which I really like. It's going through an API with a punchy bass preset, which makes it cut through the big drums. And then I've got the CLA Classic 76 Blackie compressing on the bass. Now with, the drums are already sounding pretty huge as they are, so I'm really digging the addictive drums. Check it out. You know, I just go through certain kits and pick out the ones I like. I've used different kind of rock kits, a couple of different kinds through the session here. And then with the drums, I'm really just going through, I love my API. It's just, you know, it's a go-to thing. Big Fat Drums 2 or BD Drums 2, and a clean limit compressor for that. That sounds pretty fat. I mean, the drums are produced sounds pretty good already, you know. I don't have to do too much. That's my system crapping itself. Anyway, yeah, and with the heavy guitars, I tracked again. You know, the clean guitars were tracked left and right with the same preset with the zoom. As I mentioned before, this trusty little pedal which I use for busking, it's a small little unit, but it's got some pretty good amp sims in there and good presets, which I've altered a little bit. And then I put, with the chorus, I overdubbed, really just using my Ibanez, a different heavy guitar left and right with some different parts. So sometimes with chords, I'll have the chord, you know, that's up, you know, for instance, like a B flat that's up, you know, down the neck, and then a real higher one at the higher part of the neck. And so these are the sound of the nice sort of, I used the Eddie Kramer preset here with a little bit of gentle limiting. There's when the high one bit comes in, I mentioned. Now I really do like to tidy up, because I find with my playing there's a little bit of jingling and noise in between each chord, and when you got some choppy chords like this, I went through and cut out any little noise in the middle, if you know what I'm saying, in here. So they're all, you know, so it gives it a really nice tight sound. And sometimes it's not perfect every single time, which I do like, which you're going to hear here in the way of the playing, but that gives it, you know, the essence. So this is the clean guitar and the heavy guitar together. And, you know, I did this on purpose where I you know, wanted the clean guitar to be quite present in the mix with the heavy guitar as well. So with my bass, I've used, it's like Advantage. I'll go through some of on another video on, you know, the instruments I use. It's Advantage 80s. Bass. It's a bit like a P bass, but it sounds pretty good. It does the job. So yeah, so that's kind of me, how I, you know, will put together a song, you know, in Pro Tools. With this track in particular, I will be giving it over to my friend Atlanta to do the vocals. And, you know, I've come up with a bit of a working title called, you know, the Halo of Helios. A bit of that epic, you know, a band called the Tea Party is one of my favourite bands from the 90s. Check them out if you haven't. They're great. They've got real poetic, epic lyrics. So that'd be the concept. And just to wrap up, I am going through a a mastering chain. So that's about it. There's the session incomplete. Drums, bass, clean guitar, heavy guitar. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Stay tuned for some more videos. We'll be doing a follow-up video on the sounds I generally use for my sound live and in the studio, different rigs I have. Thanks for listening. Take care. On with the show called Life. May the force be with you all. Rock and roll. Catches.